What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com, the place you go when you want action-packed content related to growing your app downloads and your revenue. And I tend to talk with my hands a lot, so that's why you see me pointing everywhere. But welcome to this video where we're going to talk about the common mistakes that we see first time, even really advanced app creators make, especially the first timers who come in seeing, I want to create an app for this, getting so excited, but the common pitfalls that will set you up for failure. No, there's no right path for success, but there are common paths that you can take for failures. And I think what we want to help you do with this video is try to help you avoid these common mistakes as you're working with a development team and you're trying to think through what features to build. So no other better guest to bring on with me today to share all the tips is Chaim from B7 Dev. If you're looking for an app development firm that's going to help you with building the core features that you really need to launch with, well, check them out. It is b7dev.com. Chaim, welcome.
Hi, Steve. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Shall we get right into it, Chaim?
Sure. Yeah.
All
Let's move on.
The first one that I think you and I both agree on this is building too many features.
Yeah, the most common problem that we see when someone has an idea, they want to develop an app, but they don't know how to express exactly what the point is the common pitfall is they will add 1 zillion features in the idea. So you cannot explain exactly what the problem you are solving if you add 1 million things. Okay, you need to focus on solving one problem at a time with an app. Okay, if you add the common process is like this: a customer, the root of this is the customer doesn't feel very sure with the idea. Okay, doesn't validate the idea with someone else or with some professional help. So they want to add a lot of things just in case. Okay, so the point is, what is the problem that you are trying to solve? If you solve that problem, the people will use your app. Okay, then with time you can add more stuff. But basically, stick to the good or brilliant point you want to fix, you want to improve, and then move on. In the first version, shouldn't be 100 things to show because the people will get really confused about that. Okay, you need to focus on what really is the app about. Okay, and nothing. I mean, lot of stuff, lot of noise. The people want to understand in just 10 seconds what is your app about. Okay, just explain to someone else what is your idea. If they don't understand, try to rephrase or think about what is the app doing and stick on it. Okay, features, a lot of features will come later.
Yeah, and I love this graphic that we have up, things that matter, things you can control, and here's what you should focus on, right? And sometimes even if after you launch, you're starting to find that different features are being used more often, well, make sure that people go into that. And there's some failures that I can point to, but I'm going to try to show an example of an app that I feel like is doing this really well. So Chaim, here's an app that we had on the virtual summit, one of the virtual summits we've done. It's Rev, and they allow you to transcribe and record. And the way that they make money is through transcriptions. They have a transcription service. Love them, rev.com. But they have this app that they're like, it was very busy. You know, I wish I could show you the before, but it's very busy in the very beginning. But now it's just record, right? And so here, I'll show you guys their screenshots so that you can see what it's all about. Record, transcribe, and any audio. So they're like, rather than having transcribe, you know, like all these different features, they just were like, look, we first need you to record something. And then we're going to get you to, hopefully that recording, you can save it forever if you want, but hopefully you'll get that transcribed and put it on wherever you want, but that's where they're going to make their money. And ever since they made this change, they've seen users develop more, like use the app more, retention skyrocket, and also they make more money. So really simplifying it, this design is beautiful. Really simplifying it like this really helps out a lot. And this is all that you really, really need. And so, you know, it is just trying to figure out the core features that you need before you get into too much. I also want to show you another app, Chaim, that this app, okay, Collab Max. I love you. You're in the audience. I'm sorry. I'm picking on you. But this app allows influencers and content creators like myself to make money from my fans. Like they can tip me and they can do all this stuff. You wouldn't know from this app. So like I first launch it, they want access to all these things. I'm like, why? Right? Like, why? Okay, fine. I'll say okay. And then it's going to pop up another time. It's going to pop up another time. Whereas, Rev, like they need access to my thing, but they're only asking it after I hit record, right? So these subtle changes make a huge difference. And with Collab Max, fortunately, like when I got into the app, it became a little bit too confusing on what you wanted me to do. So way too many features. Test that MVP. I know it's commonly used, but I would say test that a lot more. Number 2, Chaim, is not doing enough market research. And for you, you were talking about like not really setting your minimum goal, download goals, your maximum number of goals. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. You need to understand, first of all, what your goal is, what you are trying to do with the app. Okay? You are trying to get rich from one day to another. There is nothing like this. Okay? Not even Google, not even Apple. They have a plan, okay? And they know that they have milestones for every stage to know how good or bad they are doing. So if you're starting with your app, you need to know, first of all, let's try to talk with someone that already knows what the numbers could be already. Okay, what is the amount of users that you can get after, I don't know, after a week, after a month? What will be the number of users that you will get if you use a service like you, Steve, provides, like marketing the app, SEO, etc., etc. What is the number of users that you will get with the service, without the service? Okay, is the service good enough to invest on it? Can I manage to be without this kind of advanced services for marketing? Should I test the app a little bit more with a closed beta, etc.? I should establish a number of steps, a number of parameters. With, first of all, let's discuss with someone that already knows what the real numbers could be. Okay, because they have access to previous apps or other similar apps to know what the progression was. Okay, I am on the right path, or I'm offset totally. Okay, because I need, I don't know, I need the first month in order to keep working and keep pounding on the marketing, on the social marketing. I need 100 users, I need 1,000 users, or I need 1 million users. Okay, so if I want that, what should I do? Or if I get less of this amount of users, what should I do? Okay, so if we don't have parameters, we don't know where we are at on the progression line on the map at all. Okay, we need to settle for even furthermore. You can know that if you are not getting to this amount of users or this amount of retention time, the time that a user will spend with the app, okay, we need to improve this area or that area. We need professional help. We need, I mean, by professional help, I mean professionals like you, marketers, no a shrink. So the idea is to know where I am all the time, okay, in order to know if I should put more gas on it or just relax because we are on the good path. Okay.
Yeah, and I've had friends in the space who have built successful apps, gotten Apple features, and when I was talking about setting those clear goals, but I also want to talk about like doing the market research, seeing what kind of apps are top grossing, and adapting and improving on that as well. And so doing that type of market research is so important, instead of just being like, I've got this great idea, let me go launch it. And on that point, Chaim, number 3 is talking about like not soft launching. And when I say soft launch, I mean getting that early feedback. And so soft launch could be making the app available for pre-order, or just launching the app and just not doing too much heavy promotion, but getting that early user feedback and just adapting and iterating on that early user feedback.
Yeah. Again, let's try to pigtail the big players in the industry. You know that Google or Facebook, when they release a very, very new or bright idea, what they do, they don't release to everyone on the market, all the users, all the countries, all the ages. What they do is a small group of people, like a test group, in order to ask them later what you think about the app, what you will improve, how you feel it, did you understand what the app should do, how you manage to do this task or that task, or to play or to get this level or whatever it is. Okay, the app idea. What they want is to control a small group of users, mostly volunteers, that they will tell you, even you can do it with your friends or your family, that they can give you a very, very precious feedback. And then with that feedback, you go, if everything is okay, that is very rare, that everything will be really ready for the big launch. But generally, what you get is some feedback that you see. Okay, I didn't see it from that point of view. So you will back to development. You fix or you adjust those fine tuning points, and then you are ready for the big launch, or even more, to resend to the very same group the updated app, and then you will get a better feedback than the first time. It's like the people in Hollywood. I mean, at Hollywood, what they do is they do close screenings for a very small. I mean, if you don't understand how the process works,
Yeah.
you can understand when you see those small groups of people being screened a picture, and they think what they say what they are thinking about, what they will remove, or what was bothering them. Okay, so the process is about the same, just less fancy. And just tell me what you think about the app. Did you understand it? What should be improved, etc., etc.
Yeah, I love it. And one of my past podcast guests, Chris, he was talking about how I was like, how did you know this app? And it was an app that allowed you to quit smoking weed. And he's like, I was like, how did you know that this app was going to succeed? Because he had multiple failures before then. He had 4 different apps that he launched, didn't really do anything. He's like, you know what, Steve? I was just getting a lot of user feedback. Like people would email me and be like, this is a great app, and this is this, and can you do this? And they were making suggestions on the app. And he's like, that's when I knew like people were actually liking my app. So it's these small little things that if you're getting, having a little email function that you could probably build for them, letting people contact you in some way in the app allows you to get that early feedback as well, and just see like if you're getting positive feedback, you're like, oh my god, like people are really making recommendations to the app, and so people really liking it.
Yeah, the best thing you can get is feedback. I mean, even if they are telling you your app looks like crap, this is great, because at least they took the time to tell you, I don't like the app. I mean, the worst thing that I know is someone that don't uh, back to you telling you, look, this app sucks, and okay, let's forget it. Okay, but if they don't tell you anything, the next thing you will do is you will release, and then you will fail big. So the good thing is to fail small and to get feedback, and then move on.
Well, the next I want to talk about too, and I would love your thoughts on this, Chaim, is I feel like that people are not aggressive enough with charging. I think, for me personally, and I'll lead it off to you, I always feel like this is a business you're trying to run, right? Like we all know the subscription-based apps are the ones that are going to be trending high, and those are the ones that are being top grossing right now, frankly. And so, but I just had a call with some potential client, and he's like, we want to make it the first 100,000 people for free. And I'm like, that's a lot of people, right? Like there's not a lot of people you can get to 100,000 downloads, but you might not get to 100,000 users. And your business, you need to see if people are willing to pay for what you're building, so that you can hopefully reinvest in that, use it for paid marketing, use it to build out more features, but you have to at least charge.
Yeah, it's the old discussion about the fine art of pricing things. I mean, it's an art by itself. Some ideas. I mean, it's a very large discussion about this, where some people argue that the cost is the first thing that you need to watch. Today, anyone will tell you that costs are a constraint for settling a price. The idea is that I have this kind of discussions with customers sometimes, because I tell, maybe it's preferable to have 10 people to pay you $100, that later, if it's too expensive, you can lower the price, than go tell someone that we raise the price. It's harder to do, to tell someone I will raise the price than I will lower the price. Okay, so starting big sometimes it's better. You need to work twice to get more users to pay less, that to get few people to pay more. And then if you have a great product or game, don't worry about that. The people will pay what you are asking for. Again, it's a very large discussion, and is bordering the games theory involved on this, okay, about what is the negotiation. I mean, the negotiation is not something that you will hassle with the customer. The negotiation is inside the customer's mind about should I pay for this much or not? Okay, it's a negotiation inside. I mean, when you are taking a look on a price, you will think inside yourself, should I pay for this much or not? I mean, it's convenient for me, it's inconvenient, I can do it better with a different product, etc. So it's a very large discussion, but I will recommend to everyone to start high, and then the people will love you if you lower the price. The people will never love you if you raise the prices.
Well, we did this case study with somebody in the audience, and we went from $1 a day for his app. He was getting about 50 to 60 downloads. Went from $1 a day to $17, and all we were doing was optimizing the actual paid. And so one thing that I would recommend too is giving people options. He only had one thing. He said, remove ads. Charge you $2 for it. And so we had different options where we locked certain features, and then we had the remove ads, and we had the unlock all. And then now you're starting to feel like there's a psychological trigger that we don't want to be told what to do, right? Like, it's like either pay us or go. Like, oh, well, I don't want to listen to you. But if we give people options, they feel like they're more in control. So it's always good to give people options when you're trying to get them to charge. And I'm playing around with different subscription-based apps to see how we can do that, instead of just doing the easy monthly, yearly, lifetime type of stuff, which is like dated. Are there different ways that you can provide people options with the ways to pay you, so that you can really drive more revenue? And that's one of the fundamental changes we did with that case study, the geometry solver. We went from $1 a day to $17, is lock certain features and give them options to buy different things, not just one thing. Number 5, and this is for those first-time app developers who had these tremendous, big, huge dreams about 1 million downloads on launch day and all these things. So number 5 is thinking your first app will be a humongous success. Not saying that it can't happen, just saying your odds are against you. Look, if you think about any of the big apps out there, Angry Birds 51st app, you have Color Switch with Dave Reichelt. He admittedly says it's 41st app he built. You think about Chris, where he's starting to now make a lot of money, past podcast guest. It was his 4th app. So rarely is it our first app that just like, boom, takes off. And we're like, this is great. No, it's usually, hey, you learn all the intricacies that come with launching an app, working with Apple, working with Google, having to get approved, looking at all the updates, working with Chaim and his team to make sure that the app is running smoothly. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. And so what I want to say to those who launch their first app and like are not seeing the success, look, rarely it's that first hit. It takes a long time. It's about learning, building, iterating, and then moving forward with that too. And that example with the $1 a day, I love it because it's so small that it feels like anybody can achieve it. We just made a few changes to the product itself. We went from $1 a day to 17, no extra downloads. And so these little things that make a huge difference.
Yeah. The idea is like this. The overall idea is, if it was so easy to make it big, I mean, everyone will be doing it really big. I mean, you do a small course on developing, on programming, and then the next thing you are a millionaire. It's not working like this. It's not the experience that you will get through several apps, several failures, or, I mean, again, there is cases that, of course, like every rule, the people will do an app and then will make it big, or more or less big. so exists, but it's not the general case. So the idea is to learn from mistakes, slowly improving all the time, and then you will get the to the point that you are very solid on the next ideas. Okay. Again, you need to today. I think that the problem with the today market is that the experience is not very valued. Okay, you cannot put a value on experience, and the people will accept that. Everyone think that it's so easy to do it. It's just, one, two, three, and then your app is working. But the small little is that you have millions of competitors all around the world trying to do exactly the same. So you need to invest time on this to learn how the market works, to be all the time looking at the competitors, what they are doing, what they did and what they didn't did to get where they are now, to talk with other guys. These kinds of online seminars that you do, or the conferences, are really great, because you can get together with other people that have more experience than you, that have different point of view that you have. So it's really important to absorb. In the beginning, you need to absorb a lot of experience, a lot of feedback, and then even I would recommend you to do a mock-up for an app that you have an idea, and then start. Just like a project, and then you start to show it to the people. You won't develop anything. Okay, you will just tell the people what you think about my idea, to start drafting some screens, to try to do some ideas, and then like this, you will have a flow, and then you will see what the pitfalls are. Again, sitting with people with more experience to ask how much you will charge for this, or the opposite, how much you will pay for this, to have a more precise idea. Then take it as a game, as a small project if you are starting. Talk with people that has experience on developing technically, on the marketing side, on the enterprise side. Okay, you know that a startup is, in fact, is a company. It's not just a website. A lot of people confuse the idea of a startup with just doing the app or just doing a website. The idea is you need to create a company that helps people to solve problems, or to accomplish something, or to make the people get entertained, or something like this. Okay, and there is a whole company. Okay, you need to think about all the factors that a company, like a brick and mortar business, needs to take care of, and then you will have a more accurate idea of what the big companies are doing to make it big. It's not that they just came up with an idea, a one-man show. They do everything. Again, may exist, but it's not the general case, the general rule. Okay, so you need to understand that you will do a company as a traditional company, just in a digital domain.
All right, and the last one that we have for you is hiring super cheap developers. Look, I know we're all bootstrapped. We're trying to make sure that we can build the MVP as cheaply as possible, but you got to stay away from these super cheap developers.
Every day, maybe not every day, but every week, we receive a new project that is already done, and it didn't work because they hired super cheap developers, and then at some process or some stage, it gets wrong. The app doesn't do what you want for it to do, keep crashing, all kind of issues, and we go to rescue the app. Maybe we need to rewrite an area of the code, or we need to rethink the app in a different way. We are getting this all the time. So the idea is, of course, that in these current times, nowadays, when this pandemic is harming the economy so much, you need to be bootstrapped to be very money wise, entrepreneur, and to all the time to have the costs in mind. But the worst thing that you can do is to go for the first offer that you get. I will recommend you to get several quotes, to ask why the quote is so different with another guy that he asked for. I mean, you can ask for 4 or 5 quotes, 2 or 3, I don't know how many developers or developer companies you know. And then if you see something really cheap, ask why this different company is asking me for different higher prices than you. How you do it in the way that is so cheap. I mean, you are cutting corners. You are what is the guarantee on the code? For example, in B7 Dev, we have a lifetime warranty on bugs that we do. Okay, there are bugs. So it doesn't matter if the bug is discovered 2 or 3 years after the product is the launch. We will, if there is a bug that we did, I mean, not that the Apple asked it to upgrade the operating system version, but it's a bug, we will always fix that for you, and then we will always support you. You need to take care of support after the app is launched. Otherwise, you may start with the hard way. Okay, so you can run a lot of risks, and the people saying that the app is not working, bad reviews, etc., etc. The idea is to get to a reasonable point with the cost for development, and then trying to stick with that developer or development company if you find a really good option.
Love it. Sometimes when you find the cheapest one, you end up paying more in the long run. The website, if you guys want to check it out, it is b7dev.com right here. Look, I've been working with Chaim and his team for a very long time. So if you're looking for affordable, they're not going to be the cheapest, all right? Because they're good developers out there. But if you're looking for an affordable solution to help you, and Chaim has great knowledge in the space too. He's been doing it for a long time. Go check it out. It is b7dev.com. Chaim, if the audience wants to follow up with you in any other way, do you want to send them anywhere else?
No, just contact me if you have some particular question. If I need to understand what the idea is, what the question is, and of course that I will redirect them to some other option if I know something different. Or I mean, we are always here, always taking care of new projects, sending quotes, evaluating ideas. We also offer that process, that evaluation, polishing the idea, getting to a more. There is a common problem that the customer tells you, "I have this idea," and then when you start working on that, this idea, polishing, developing, mostly on paper or on a screen, you will understand that you are missing several points. So the quote can change, okay, for more or for less. So the idea is, first of all, to come with a solid idea, a polished one, okay, to get a more precise quote. We are always, of course, free of charge for consultations, okay, and then we can talk more about what you are thinking, the app, etc., in order to make some progress together.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, do some homework, all right? Look, it's hard, it sucks, but do this, right? If you can do that and just some pencil sketches, you at least spend some time on the app idea, and then go check out Chaim and give you a more accurate quote. Once again, it is b7dev.com. Thank you guys for watching. Chaim, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next video.